Mel Harris, Garbagemanpiper, and it's time to rate a cigar. Pull the wrapper off here. We have got an H. Upman garbage can. We got an H. Upman Vintage Cameroon, and I'm excited about getting on this thing. I'm gonna do a V-cut just because for some reason I just seem to botch up the end when I do the other cut. So we'll see how that works. And we'll be back after the intro. Well, we're back. I'm kicking back, just relaxing. We are through the first third, and it actually burned a lot better than I thought it would. And it could very well be that the draw on this is very, very restricted. I literally had to cut a ½ inch off the end of this. It was hard as a rock. I had to take the spear. I must have used the spear, to open up this area. Just couldn't, it would not open up. So the draw on this is very restricted, and yet, what does that tell you? Heck, probably half of the problem I have with ash isn't the cigar. I'm loving the Cameroon flavor off of it, but this is a cigar, sometimes you just have those cigars that man, you got to smoke that thing. Instead of it just being a nice, relaxed smoke, I seriously, I feel like I'm wrestling with it. And yet it's burning, it's burning fast. We started on this at 7:36. I didn't look and see what time it was for the first third, but we're definitely into the second third. And I'm just getting that nice Cameroon leathery, just that what I like to find in a cigar again, and that I follow through a cigar, that there's a flavor or a note. I don't know what they necessarily call it, but or what I would call it, but I guess it's kind of a leathery note, and that's just the note that I hang on to throughout the smoke. And it's what I look for. It's what I want out of that cigar. And I don't necessarily always find that in just a Cameroon. I'm still looking for that note. So it could be something that's not necessarily in the wrapper as much as that's in the filler or the binder. I'd like to give you more information on it, but it is an H. Upman 1844 vintage Cameroon, and it's smoking. Now that I've gotten through the first third, it seems to be opening up a little bit. It's interesting. I was watching a video the other day because the Perdomo. I don't know why I can't pronounce the cigar's name, but Nick, I subscribed to Nick Perdomo's YouTube site, and so funny because he had one of those barrel-aged cigars with the big old wrapper on it, and My bad, you know, I pulled that sucker off and had to put it back on, and because the cigar was coming apart. But he definitely talked about how long to leave that wrapper on, and pretty much until the heat is up to the wrapper, where it, you know, just a rookie mistake on my part. But it was so interesting to just happen to come across his video like a week after I had smoked that cigar. I could have used that tip 2 weeks ago when I smoked it. So we're smoking a Robusto. This is my size cigar, like 50-52 ring by 5.5. I'm enjoying the flavors. The wrapper, as far as oils go, it's dry. So getting into this, I gave the wrapper a 3. It really is kind of knotted up and whatnot. The band I gave a 2. It's okay. I probably could have went with the 3, but again, I guess I was a little pissy about the cigar. The firmness was a 2. It was real spongy, and the more you came up to the tip was hard as a rock. I should have saved it, but geez, I'd never had any cigar like that. It was like they just flat glued that thing shut. So we basically have on presentation 9, 10, 11, 12, a 15. I'm rating it on presentation 5, 6, 7, and 8. So just a little bit above halfway. Smoking characteristics, even though it was hard on the draw, it still lit okay, which kind of tells me there was probably enough airflow. I gave it a 4 out of 5. This is a 23. Smoking characteristics is a 23 rate. As far as the burn's a little bit faster than I would like, so I'll probably give it a 10 or an 8 out of 10. So on smoking characteristics, we're going to go with a 16 out of 23. So as far as flavor consistency, all the way in, again, I'm doing my measuring. You can see where I measured it to thirds, and that's how much I had to cut off. So we are already at we're already into the second third, about a third of the way through the second third. So as far as consistency, the consistency's been there. It probably, again, as I've mentioned already, was a benefit that it's a little bit harder on the draw than normal. Which I think is helping with the flavor consistency. As far as flavor quality, I think because the wrapper is drier than a lot of the Cameroons I smoke, it's just leaves you with a real dry, it's like it's sucking the moisture out of my lips. You know, it's interesting rating a cigar when actually, if it now that I'm into the second third, I'm sitting there going, well, I was running like a house of fire, eating dinner, making sure I had enough to eat so I could get here, so I could do all this, you know, run. It took the first third just to unwind, just to slow down. We had like an infestation of bugs. I opened up some parts that I got for the workshop. I was throwing the box away, and I'm looking at going, God, we've got ants everywhere. Well, they're not ants. They're these flippin' little bugs. The head of the bug's about the size of the head of a needle, and then the body is clear with just goo in it, and it's like the whole bug is only like 3 pinheads, size wise. And but it, I thought we had ants, and I'm like, oh, I got to go get the ant stuff, but they were swarming down the side. I mean, literally millions. I mean, literally the sidewalk. It wasn't like they were on top of each other, but just these little bugs, man. I thought, and they were everywhere, all the way around the rock walls, both all the way around the house, the front of the house, in the street, in the yard, in the rock. So I spent probably an hour loading up the bug sprayer. What's gonna work? I got some demon sprayer. I did a whole 2 gallon deal of demon sprayer all over, and that sucker. If you've ever heard me talk about vinegarones, that stuff kills them dead. Then we hear, okay, well, you know what? I still had some stuff left I needed to cover. So we were on the neighborhood site, and the neighbors were talking about vinegar and Dawn. Well, we had a gallon of or more of vinegar, so I filled that sucker up with vinegar and Dawn. Went around, did it again, and then somebody was talking about Windex helps. We loaded it up with Windex, baby. So we gave it the old college try, 3 different things, and basically it's just weird. They just want at the yard. They come in and they infest your yard and just eat your yard up. And again, it's not like locusts. These things are. They're small, small, small. And so I was just running like a house of fire for about an hour and a half, trying to kill all these bugs. Gay is so funny. When I get focused, man, I am focused. I'm either not focused at all or I'm over focused. That's that ADDHDMOUSE. And she was just watching me, man. She was just like, I'm just staying out of his way. So, good night to smoke a cigar. Realistically, it should be a Churchill, because I probably won't unwind until this thing is about done. So back to it. Flavor-wise, flavor is 18. 26 is a top rating on flavor. I'm going to give it just a little bit. I want to shoot it about a 7 out of 9, but the flavor's consistent. I don't know why I should penalize it. I think the quality's all of 7 out of 9. Smoothness of the smoke itself, getting past the draw, getting past all of that. It's a smooth smoking cigar. I don't know what the end of that was all about, but I definitely learned something. I tried to do the V cut, and the V cut was like, man, I even did it like twice trying to get through it, and I finally just took the Zycar, and I just flipped and cut a ½ inch off of it and said, let's be done with it. Let's get to chooching. I've really enjoyed Northeast Piper UK Mark. He's really getting into his cigars. I'm smoking maybe one a week, but he's really, really enjoying it. And of course, we all love our pipes. You can smoke those all day, every night. Cigars, really, for me, once a week, I look forward to that day when I can get out, you know. My evening, as far as planning my evening, it was get the grill going, grill steaks, eat, and then just chill and smoke a cigar. But I was a bug killer this afternoon. I think they've calmed down a little bit. They're not like up on the patio. They want that yard. It's funny because we've spent some money on this yard the last 2 years. I don't know what I was all fretting about. But anyways, I killed me millions and millions of them. Crazy. Never seen anything like it. All right, let's move on. Overall impressions we'll get to. We are in the halfway into the second third. And I'll be back when we get to the third. All right, I'm back. We're into the third. And the wind has kicked up here. So I'll just kind of toast some of this. It just trying to keep it even with that wind going. Excuse me. So on the third, we've got the overall impression. That is a total rating of 36. You've got the quality of the blend. That's 12 of the 36, so that's a whole third of it. And you know what? I'm just flat mean about this cigar tonight. I'm giving it a 7 out of 12. Flavor progression, I'm giving it a 6 out of 8. The finish, honestly, it finished. It's almost redeemed itself with me, Mr. Bad Attitude, tonight. I'm going to give it 5 out of 6 on the finish. The speed of the burn, actually we're at, I don't know, probably close to 8:25. We're a good hour into it. Probably faster burn than I've seen. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Probably should be, in my opinion, 3 out of 5. But I've been so hard on the dang thing. Price, honestly, I don't remember what the price was. If I would have smoked one of these prior and had a fit like I've had, I probably would say that I've overpaid. But I do not, I needed to remember to get the price of this cigar. I picked up 4 of these. I think from Pipes and Cigars or Smoking Pipes. I'm giving the price a 3 out of 5. So out of a total of 36, we've got 13, 18, 22, 25. This poor cigar has taken a beating. We've got 14, 19, and 11, 30. Yeah, I did not do this cigar justice. I do have more of these. I rated it a 70, which kind of tells you, listen, when you're rating a cigar, I don't know if there's any way around to separate yourself so far when you've wrestled with a cigar that you're not going to have, you know, how you feel about the experience in here. Rating helps me focus, which is good. But there's just no way you can't express your feelings in your ratings. This one took a beating for me. Realistically, this is probably about an 83, 84 cigar. You know, I always ask myself, would I buy a box of these? I have smoked other H. Upman Cameroons, and I thought that's what I was getting, but this is a little bit different. I think this is actually feels like a little bit maybe lower end H. Upman Cameroon, But again, you know, I just fought with this bad boy. Would I buy a box of them? Absolutely, I would not buy a box of them. I've got 3 more cigars for it, for not only it to redeem itself, but for me to smoke it with a good attitude. When I'm not feel so rushed inside, where my motor's not running. So it's going to be in here. I'm documenting the rating. The great thing is I have it in the book. For those that have never watched one of these or me to do one of these, I use the Cigar Daily Review Journal. It's about $14, $15 at Cigar Daily online. It's been a great book. So the next 3 that I smoke, I'll be able to see how I improve this. I'll probably smoke another one of these in a few months. We'll probably do 5 or 6 more cigars, and then I'll smoke one again with you guys, and we'll review this, re-rate it. So that being said, thanks for putting up with my rants. Mel Harris, Garbagemanpiper, saying, sweet chicken baby, smoking any cigar is still better than the best day at work. You all be safe out there.